Alright, I'm going to talk about the motions of the shoulders, and we're going to start off with isometric movements of them, because as you start to rehabilitate from shoulder injury or post-surgery, isometric is usually where we start in the protocol of progression. So the first exercise you're going to do, everything you're pretty much going to do is going to have a wall. So find preferably like a door frame or something that works for you that you don't mind greasing up any. So, alright. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do isometric external rotation. So one of the motions of the shoulders, because it is a ball and socket joint, is it allows this motion. Imagine the resistance is on the back of my hand and I'm rotating it out. So that's external rotation. So what you're going to do is you're going to line up to where you're 90 degrees with the wall, your elbows bent at 90, and I want you to make sure you're relaxing your shoulder. A lot of times if you're rehabbing your shoulder, people try to draw up high and tight because they're afraid it's going to hurt. So you want to relax the shoulder, and I always say tuck your scapula down in your back pocket, but not excessively, but just, you know, relax the shoulder. So what you're going to do is you're going to push against the wall. Doesn't look like it, but I am pushing against the wall. I want to hold for about 10 seconds, and you're going to relax. All right? It's not a big movement. In fact, it's not kinetic at all. It means you're not moving through a range of motion. Push and hold 10 seconds, and then you're going to relax. All right? So that was a really short 10 seconds. Anyways, so that's going to be your external rotation isometric exercise. The next one is going to be internal rotation. So all you're doing is you're taking the resistance and you're putting it in the palm of your hand. So I'm going to be on the other side of this wall. There's like a little pillar here, and I know you can't really see it, but imagine if I were doing this, but you can't really see much of the movement that way either. So same thing, you're just going to push against, keep those shoulders relaxed and level, push against, hold for 10 seconds, and relax. You're not trying to punch through the wall or anything, no fast, powerful movements. Push and hold 10 seconds. We start off nice and easy, 2 sets of 10 seconds for your isometric exercises. So we've gotten 2 of the directions that the shoulder moves. The next one is going to be flexion. So this is going to be your upward punch movement. This is going to be important because as you paddle, it's actually the opposite of it, so you have to be able to decrease the speed that you're coming down, because you don't want your arm to flop down in the water. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on flexion. So now you're going to put your hand into the wall. So you're going to put your hand into the wall, but you can't really see it from this angle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch up, but I don't want to lean into it. I want to keep that 90 degrees, and I want the motion to originate from the shoulder socket itself. So you're going to push and hold for 10 seconds, and then you're going to relax. Same thing. Make sure you're not drawing them up high and tight. Push, hold for 10 seconds, and then you're going to relax. So that's going to be flexion. So now we have 3 exercises: external rotation, internal rotation, and flexion. And now we want to work on extension, which is going to be coming back. So in order to do that, I'm showing you with my right shoulder, you're going to put your back against the wall, or at least the elbow of the shoulder that you're working with. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep your arm at 90, keep your shoulder relaxed again, and then you're going to drive that elbow into the wall, and you're going to hold for 10 seconds, and then relax. Drive that shoulder into the wall, that elbow into the wall, and relax. You want to make sure you're not rounding your shoulders or letting your shoulder pop forward as you're doing it. You want to feel that in the back of your shoulder blade as you do it, in the back of your shoulder. Push and hold 10 seconds, and relax. So now you have external rotation, internal rotation, flexion, extension. Now we want to work abduction, or they say abduction. Anytime you're taking anything away from the midline of the body, you're abducting it, all right? So what you're going to do is you're going to line up to where the top of your arm is in contact with the wall, your elbow's bent at 90 degrees, and what you're pushing against the wall is actually going to be this part of your arm. So you're going to feel it up in that shoulder joint. So same thing, you're going to push, hold for 10 seconds, and then you're going to relax. This one may cause you some issues, so make sure you only push to the level that you feel comfortable with. Okay, if you start to feel sharp, stabby, shooty pains, then ease back off the resistance that you're giving yourself. Okay, so now you have abduction, and then the last one is adduction. And this one, you'll have to make sure you have good range of motion before you train for this one. But what I'm going to have you do is you're going to put your arm up against the wall, and you can put it up where you're comfortable, and then walk it towards as you need to. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to, like you're pulling the wall down this way. all right? And you want to feel that right here in the top of your rib cage, called your serratus anterior. So that's going to control the movement in that shoulder blade. Push and hold and relax. Remember not to draw them up high and tight. Push and hold, 10 seconds, and relax. So now you've done all planes of motion that the shoulder can give you. Internal, external rotation, flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction, which are going to be the movements of the scapula moving away and towards the midline, also called upward rotation and downward rotation. So all of that's going to be important because as you paddle, yeah, you're primarily using this, but if you don't have the stability in the remaining part of the rotator cuff, then you end up with issues later on down the line. So these are all shoulder preservation exercises that you could do for yourself isometrically. And then in another video, I'll show you some where we're actually using kinetic and we're moving it instead of just bracing ourselves against a wall and providing energy against the wall and it pushing back on us. So I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon. Let me know if you have any questions.